I feel like, this is like an official movie title or something tonight.
Really? Yes, because Kramer versus Kramer, Martini versus Martini.
Martini versus Martini.
I love it. Well, I got some good food here, and we're going to have some delicious drinks. I cannot not take a picture of this food because it looks absolutely beautiful. And you know me and food. I love food. I don't like food. I love food.
Well, that's a good thing, huh? So,
right? Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this.
Why
So,
would we be doing it if we didn't like it? So, what you got?
so
What's on your table that's not on mine?
well, let's see now. So I had gotten all the stuff, and then yesterday after I went to bed, I went, oh, I didn't prep it. So I prepped it today. So we got blueberries, and they're the jumbo size because jumbo size blueberries. I find with what we're going to be drinking that blueberries are just an upscale, just very beautiful little snack that you can have. The other thing that I also find quite upscale, beautiful, is prosciutto wrapped asparagus. And then in here is, and this is the top quality prime steak bites with mushrooms in a wine sauce. So I made that today, and it also has the onions in there. And I'm like, it smells absolutely delicious. So these are my three little things that I think would go very well with what we're going to be drinking.
Cool.
Or trying, or tasting, or sipping, whatever you want to do.
Wow. So I just went to the store. I got one of those fancy plates.
Ooh, yes.
So I've got, just regular green olives, no pits.
Yum.
Some olives that have pits in them.
Yes, you got to have those. They have just a different texture. My mouth is watering just thinking about it.
I thought that was just chocolate, but it's not. It's chocolate-covered raisins.
Oh, okay. So you got a little bit, is that a dark chocolate with that sweetness of the raisin on the inside with a little bit bitterness on the outside?
Some pepperoni and salami, nice. Some apple slices, some cheese, some crackers.
Nice.
And these crackers are really good too.
Very nice. And then, of course, that pairs very well with what we're going to be doing today. We'll give you, I'm sure the title already gave it away, but if we show some, so let's see now, some dry vermouth, some olives, some...
See, I have an olive juice that I have sometimes for mixing it, but I also have a jar of olives.
Nice. And then depending on what you're doing, this might be your way to go. I have two different types of olives. This one is the manzanilla olives stuffed with pimentos, which are a good size, but these are the bigger size olives that are pearls. We'll have to give it to pearls because they have a variety of ones that I really like. These are specialties, Martini vermouth, red pepper hand-stuffed olives. So this one, being that it's in vermouth, I'm like, gotta have. They also have a garlic stuffed one, jalapeno stuffed, and blue cheese.
Yeah, garlic I like. Garlic I like. Jalapeno I like. Blue cheese I do not like. Gwen loves blue cheese, but okay. All right. And when it comes to martini, how many olives do you put in yours?
Gotta have 3 olives.
That's a rule. 3 olives in a martini.
I do ask for 3 olives all the time. So this is a new vermouth. I haven't tried it. It's a dry vermouth. And this is an Italian handcrafted. And it is Vermouth Classico. It's a dry vermouth. So Donna Maria's. So this is so lovely. In the back, it actually has a recipe. And this is Nonna Maria. So Nonna Maria's martini is 3 ounces ginger vodka, 1/2 ounce of your dry vermouth, olive or lemon twist for garnish. Add all the ingredients into a glass, shake with ice, and shake until chilled. Stir with the chilled martini glass and garnish with an olive or lemon twist. So depending on if you want that, there is no wrong way to make a martini. There are so many different kinds of martinis that you can make.
Well, there are some people out there. I mean, if you watched MASH, the martinis were made with gin.
And that's traditionally where most martinis will be with gin. And of course, then you can always substitute the vodka or the gin for the vodka. But there's like 10 or 12 different types of martini styles. And then of course your garnish is how you like. But without getting into all your fancy espresso martinis, lemon drops, and all of those, you have your 50-50, your bone dry, your dirty martinis, your dry martinis, your extra dirty or your extra filthy. I did one time have a gentleman's martini. So it was a dirty martini, but without all the floaties in there. So it was a very clean gentleman's martini. Then you got your extra dry, your Gibson, which has the onion rather than an olive or lemon twist. So that's your Gibson on the
So
rock.
I want to pause on the Gibson. All right, okay. I gotta give Don, Craig's friend, who's the bassist for Eddie Money.
Oh yeah.
All right, Don and I remember this night sitting at the bar at the Sheraton at LAX. Don and I are sitting at the bar. My wife Gwen pops in, and we have a discussion. Don and my wife have a discussion about Gibson versus Martini.
Okay.
This is the two of them having this long discussion over it. I reminded Don of that when Don did it, like he did a thing for Craig's group a couple months ago, like a Zoom call. And I'm like, Don, my wife says hello, and she's still, not into getting the Gibson onions. And it opened the whole discussion back up. That was the night Don and I sitting at the bar that Don had never met JD Leidy. You remember Janie Leidy? Okay. Janie Leidy was a Grammy-winning musician. She passed away in early 2020, just before the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Died of
definitely not. I was thinking somebody in Craig's mastermind. Okay.
She wasn't his mastermind, and I'm in the elite program. She was one of the elite members. You joined the elite program or not, but the original elite program Craig did. She was like one of the first members into it. And she, very gifted musician. All right, Grammy award-winning musician, and some of her songs are still used in Craig's stuff. But anyway, that's the night that Don had never met her, and I'm like, Don, you do a show on music. I got to introduce you to somebody, and I went and got Janie and brought her back to the bar.
Nice.
And then the two of them were friends until Janie passed. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Anyway, I had to stop at the Gibson because there was a whole story around the Gibson.
Well, the thing is that I remembered as I'm going the filthier, the dirty, that I'm going, oh my goodness, the gentleman. And I was in the Bay Area visiting one of my friends, and my friend Nina took me to this one place, and that's where I'm like, what is a gentleman's martini? And so it was just, sometimes this is the fun part, is those memories that come back. Mm-hmm. And then of course you have your on the rocks, which is served over fresh ice, your perfect martini, and that's the 2-to-1 spirit to vermouth ratio. However, then it's a split. So even though it's a 2-to-1 ratio, so if it's 2 ounces of vodka, let's say, then it's a half an ounce of dry vermouth and a half an ounce of sweet vermouth. So that is your perfect martini, because it's got that little bit of the sweetness and the aromatics. So it just makes it perfect. At least that's what they think.
How are you going to make yours tonight? Because history on this thing. Wait a minute. But the reason we're doing this tonight, all right, is we did this earlier in the month on Bloody Marys.
Yes.
Now, or earlier in the year, I should say. We're now going to do the comparison. The Martini, Crater Lake Vodka versus Dripping Springs, which is our Texas. This is the Crater Lake is from Oregon, where you got. The Dripping Springs is our Texas one that I sent her. Now, whenever we want a bottle of this, she has to send me a bottle of this, and I have to send her a bottle of this, because both of these are not available in the other states. Yeah. So, but I saved the bottle. And this is the great thing about, it sits on my bar. The Crater Lake sits on my bar. I'm not getting rid of it. All right. It is for the show only, because Gwen will have a martini every night, which is one of the part of tonight's discussion is martini after work. Gwen will finish this bottle in a couple of days.
Okay.
So I have more other vodkas on there. On on the bar, but these are the two. And I think I have a small container of Crater Lake vodkas that you sent me, but we'll do them for another podcast. But anyway.
And I'm trying to get this in the.
Which one are we going to do first?
I think the dripping springs, since our palate is clear, and I have a feeling I'm going to end up liking the Crater Lake a little bit more. So.
Not being partial at all there.
Not at all. So there are two ways to chill your glass. I had them both in the freezer, and then I pulled it out, and I knew it was going to get warm as it sat out here. So you can do one of two ways. You can either put some cold water, or I've seen a lot of bartenders, they put ice in the glass as they're mixing everything, and then they pour it out right before they put in your martini. So that way your glass is nicely chilled. I am partial to a dirty martini.
Yes, me
and
too.
So I figured, you know what, let's stick to that. And that's why I got these vermouth.
And I don't, yeah, I'm into a dirty martini. You didn't see me just pour my olive juice in. I really like a dirty martini. I'm a dirty old man now.
So you like the filthy. You like the filthy.
I'm a filthy guy. What can I say?
So a dirty martini is 2.5 ounces of gin or vodka, 1/2 ounce of dry vermouth, and then 1/2 ounce of the olive brine. So what you would want to do is technically, because it's shaken, not stirred. Well, technically, because you don't have egg whites and you don't have anything, like a fruit or anything to really incorporate, you don't need to shake it. But I've never had a martini that was not shaken. Now, part of it is the thought process is if you're shaking it with ice, that you are diluting. It also helps you chill it faster. That's the way I see it. You're chilling it faster. Is it going to dilute? Not by much, really. And so it's shaken.
If you shake it really hard, really quick. I mean, I shake it to the point I can't keep my hands on it anymore. Real quick.
There you go. And it's only a few seconds anyway. So,
like I have the cloth because literally I freeze my hands doing that. And I mean, it is a cold martini.
And so, and you can serve it. I mean, there's, of course, your classic martini glass, but you can also serve it in something tiny, something fun. No, you do not. I mean,
is her internet quitting or am I quitting?
Ooh.
One of us is already back. So there is my dirty martini. Mm-hmm. I'm a little yellowish on mine.
And then we put our.
So that is the one. And one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to cleanse out my shaker because I did not bring in a second shaker because I'm not going to put the taste in my martini.
And of course, if I had made the full amount, this would have been to here. This is half. And mine is fairly clean, actually, because the juice that I used was the Martini Vermouth one versus the Manzanilla olives. Had I used the Manzanilla olives, it would have been a little bit more dirty. So it all depends also on the olive juice. And you can also purchase olive juice that's specific for cocktails.
Thus, I have one in front of me. I actually have two of these on my bar. I have a bartender's one. It just says dirty martini mix, but.
Okay. Ooh, and that got stuck in it. Oh, there we go. All right, I'm going to cleanse this one. So I'm cleaning it out. And then I'm going to start chilling my glass for the next one. But before I make a mess, because I know me, and these bottles are pretty big, I will make a mess. So Crater Lake, you're going to move over here, and then I'm going to get my ice into my next glass to chill that one. because of course the longer the ice is in there, the more it'll chill. And some of the recipes will say quality ice. Like your clear ice. Does it make a difference? Oh, possibly. But for now, I'm gonna. All right. So here. Okay. So this is the Dripping Springs Dirty Martini. I need to get a picture of this with the food.
Cold.
Oh, is it cold? Cold. I don't know why my phone is doing something funky. It's like it keeps wanting to adjust, and I don't know if it's my camera or if it's user error, and most likely it's user error. But
so I didn't put too much dirt in this one, and I put a little less. I made a little less to the drink this time.
Okay.
Well, they are still kind of both yellowish. All right. The full one is this is my Crater Lake, and this is my Dripping Springs.
Okay.
So.
Oh wow. Okay.
First thing I'm going to do is make me a little sandwich to go with it, because I'm going to be able to take a bite out of the sandwich.
Yes.
All right. With the taste.
So, and I'm only putting about this much ice. I'm not putting that much ice. I think it just depends on where you go, where they will add more ice or not. I'm not using like a tremendous amount of ice either. So, oh yes, that's right. I forgot Crater Lake made this really
tight.
Yeah. I had a hard time last time opening it. That was funny. I couldn't close it all the way last time just because it was so darn tight. There we go. So again, I'm halving this, so it's only 1.5 ounces versus the 2.5. It's this one out the way. And my phone actually turned off, so it got mad at me for whatever reason.
It doesn't like you today?
No, it don't like me today. That's why it was being difficult. Is because it needed to turn off, and because I do like a dirty martini, I did add a little bit more olive juice than just that half ounce. I did
But have you done this where Gwen does mine because I like it dirty? She'll make her martini, but pour extra olive juice in the glass.
Oh, okay, yes.
And then add the martini to it.
There you go.
So.
I love that sound. It is like the best sound ever. A cocktail being shaken. I think this one had a little bit more dirt in it.
I have more dirt in my Dripping Springs one. The Crater Lake is a more refreshing taste to me.
Oh, wow. Okay. I need to get a picture with. I only put one olive into the Crater Lake. That way I can differentiate between making sure that I don't mix them up. So hopefully my phone decides to allow me to take pictures. There we go. Let's get the food, because the food looks just super yummy, and you pair that with I want to get you in the picture because my martini glass was covering you completely. So I took a sip of the Crater Lake and I really liked it. And I'm like going, oh, I was like, I did at least taste a little bit of the difference there. I will tell you about 20 some odd years ago, I was in Vegas and went to this bar and they had a 3-for-1 martini, that's a lot of martini. So I'm like sipping on this martini at the bar and I'm like, I took a sip. I didn't care for it. I took another sip. I mean, and the sips were small sips. And I'm like, I'm like, all I could smell with, and bartender was like, everything okay? I said, I really don't care for this martini. I said, would you use some well vodka? And I said, could you use, and I think I had asked for Grey Goose at the time. It might have been Kettle One, but I'm pretty sure it was Grey Goose. And he says, well, then it's only going to be 2 for 1. And I said, I will take that. I would rather 2 for 1 or even 1 for 1 with a good martini or with a good vodka than the 3 for 1 with a low shelf vodka and then be sick. And he made it, and it was like, oh my goodness, absolutely delicious drink. That, and I didn't need more than 2. 2 was like, oh, I'm fine. Hence why I made these smaller. Yeah. Because I know with 2, I'm going to be a happy girl, and then I will be sitting here taking a nap for a little bit. Actually, 2 will not make me take a nap, but I'm just going to relax for a while everything goes through my system, and I'll be getting home at all hours. We don't need that.
But no, you bring up a point there. All right, because this is why we're tasting one vodka over the other. If you're on the road, I come to California. I'm not going to get Dripping Springs, which is what I have here a lot. Dripping Springs Martini here. A lot of the bars here are using your Tito's. Mm-hmm. Tito's has become a nationwide favorite though as well. But you go to your strange towns. Grey Goose. I'm sorry. I gotta say. We've not done a Grey Goose tasting on the show. I don't think.
No.
But Grey Goose is like that standard you could go to almost anywhere. All right, you're in a bad town, Grey Goose vodka is going to be good with a martini. Mm-hmm. All right, and I'm not a Grey Goose snob, and we know Grey Goose snobs, right? Another one that has been a nationwide favorite that you see in a lot of nationwide places is Kettle vodka. All right, another one. You know what I mean? You're in an airport, and you know what I mean? That's probably the high end they have. The airport's not going to have the individuals from town like you and I have. There's a ton of other Texas vodkas down here. We've started doing a frankly organic vodka.
Okay.
All right. I don't know if you guys have that up there.
I don't think we do.
But there was one that we got a year or so ago. Was from the Ukraine called Coors. Did you try that?
I know there was something from Ukraine that came out here, but I don't remember what it was.
It's a good vodka, but it is not as good as our Dripping Springs. Here in Texas, we like the Dripping Spring. What's the other Texas one? There's another third Texas one. I can't think what it is. But you get used to your hometown vodka, where then you go into places that they're well vodka, and basically. I don't hate to say that I wouldn't drink well vodka, but like I think of well vodka as some poor guy at during Prohibition trying to make something right in his bathtub.
Well, the thing is that when it comes to martinis, it's gone through a lot of changes, if you will. So there's a lot of different. Origins from it. So they're saying where it came from. From the Marguerite cocktail back in 1904. And so they considered it a type of dry martini. At the time they were using dry gin. Mm-hmm. And then the Bartender's Guide to the World's Drinks and How to Mix, they did have a recipe for dry martini in it. And they were saying that it was that it came from LA. So they have a whole recipe from an LA location, and then others are saying that it was they called it a Martinez. So a Martinez was how there's an area in California that's called Martinez. So they said that it came from there. So that's another. So there's a lot of hearsay, if you will. So there's not been an exact where, but it wasn't until the 1920s where it became more recognizable. The martini did, and they were using gin and vermouth, a 2-to-1 ratio, which over the years changed. They did use aromatic bitters at one time, and other times they used orange bitters, and it was the olive or lemon peels. Hence why I have the lemon here, because that was also used to garnish. And then they started to move with less vermouth. So then the dry martini came in that has no vermouth, and then extra dry. It's the Roaring Twenties really was big on martinis. Then in the 30s, then it was a 3-to-1 ratio, then a 4-to-1 ratio, and a five. I mean, for every century or decade, excuse me, for every decade, they were adding less vermouth and more of the gin. So it's gone through a lot of changes over the years, but it's what do people like, and there's a lot of different variations that have come about, and it's just what do people like. So there's not a whole lot that can go wrong with your martini. It's what do you like, and ask for it. So a lot of times when you go to a bar and you say you want a martini, they'll ask you a gin or vodka martini.
Gin or vodka, and then they ask you what is your. Usually, then they ask you what vodka you prefer if you say vodka.
Yep, exactly. And so it just you can't go wrong with what you want. You really truly can have what you want with your martini. And they've done so much more to it. Your bacon martinis and your lemon drops and your French martini. I do like a French martini. Your Mexican martinis, your Vespers. I mean, it's really.
Is there a Tennessee martini?
Not that I know of, but
You know what I mean by Tennessee martini.
What do you see?
Tennessee martini? Kentucky, Virginia, Tennessee.
I was going to say, but are we using a whiskey in a?
Kind of. What whiskey does Tim like? My partner of a year and a half still doesn't know my favorite whiskey. What is Tim's favorite whiskey? Oh, partner.
Oh gosh.
We shared some over the weekend, by the way.
We did, and I'm trying to remember. It's been so long ago. It's been a year and a half since I last saw you in person. You're gonna call me out in front of everybody. I don't know. Jack Daniels.
Moonshine, honey, moonshine.
Oh, moonshine. I'm like going, what is the okay? It's like if you had said, what do you like to drink? I would have gone with moonshine. Yeah. But then I was thinking of a brand of, so I'm thinking Tennessee. Jack Daniels was like the one that was more.
Well, if I said Kentucky, you would think bourbons.
Yeah.
Tennessee, you think moonshines. All right. And I'm not sure there is, but there is one version of the martini that I won't touch. I still think it's too frou-frou, and I am not a teenager.
Lemon drop?
Nope.
Or Cosmo?
Nope. You're getting close, though.
Appletini?
Appletini. Oh, my God. I think that is like the kiddest of kid drinks.
I've never had an appletini.
Never have either.
I had a lemon drop one time.
Okay. But I've done the chocolate martini. All right. So basically, it was, 2005-06 that my roommate and I basically we worked at a Starbucks together, and every now and then we'd have a shift together, but very rarely we'd have a shift together, even though we were roommates. And while having a shift together, one night, these people came in from this new, and now it's called like Sambuca or something like that, but it used to be called Martini Park when they first opened this restaurant near us, this place near us. And they came in with, hey, we're doing this grand opening thing tonight. All right, here's some coupons for some free drinks. Okay. All right, you guys want to come by? So her and I talked about it. I said, after we get done, let's go home, put some fresh clothes on, and run over there. Why not? So we did. And the two of us were not into martinis, right? Just it wasn't our thing. But we decided to try what they had in the menu, and it was a chocolate martini we both tried. Okay. We were like, yeah. So like after about 20 minutes of trying martinis, we switched and both got like Amstel light beers. And like we were the two sober people leaving.
Oh, that's
because really we didn't go there to party. It was for us. It was after work, which would have been about midnight. We showed up.
Yeah, you're tired, but you still want to try.
We still wanted to drink, right? And the two of us, both of us, had to get up. Like Starbucks was like our part-time gigs.
Okay.
We had to get up in the morning to go to our full-time gigs. So like we weren't we weren't going there. And my roommate Janie, God bless her heart, I love Janie. I miss her. I wish we get to spend more time with her. But her and I just, our lives separated once we both got married. We were great friends to go to a drinking establishment because we didn't care if we picked somebody up. We were just going there to drink.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, and we were two people who were friends. And if she looked around the bar and didn't find a guy she liked, she's like, okay, she'd just sit and talk to me. I didn't find I mean, we're both single, right? Didn't find a girl I liked. I'd sit and talk to her. We were friends anyway. We were going to talk and hang out.
Right.
And at the end of the night, we're going home, going to bed by ourselves anyway. So it didn't count.
Yeah, there you go.
It didn't matter. But we had such fun doing that. And I remember the two of us trying to taste martini drinks, going, nah, I don't like this. Nah, I don't like this. That very same restaurant, when it changed hands to whatever it was before it is what it is now, we did a lot of, in the early 2012 10s, like we did meetups.
Okay.
All right, for business, and we did happy hour type meetups. And I went there one night on the motorcycle. And at the time, I lived same place. I lived at that time 35, 40 miles from it.
Oh, wow.
I go in there on the motorcycle and have 2 martinis. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
So I went over to the Starbucks to sit for a few hours because I was a little bit tipsy and I was not getting on 2 wheels to ride home.
I was going to say, there's no way you were going to drive.
No.
Yeah, the time I had those 2 martinis, I was happy. I was stumbling down, got back to the resort where we're staying at, and I'm like, flop, took a nap, like a 5-hour nap.
Yeah.
And then I woke up, it's like, okay, can we go out again? And it was like 11 o'clock at night. It was funny. But the time I had the lemon drop, I don't remember where it was. Try something new. So I ordered the lemon drop and they made it. And what they did, which I thought was genius, was that they put dry ice in the lemon drop. So it was a small piece of dry ice, but it was beautiful because it was smoking and it just looked super cool. So the glass was super chilled, so it was opaque. And then you had all this smoke coming out of it and it just looked beautiful. And it's like, oh, good. And I take a sip and I'm like, I don't like it. It was a beautiful looking drink, but I'm like, yeah, I can't drink this.
No, that happens in life. How often to where you're like, yeah, that's cool. I'm going to try that until you taste it and you go, wait a minute. Taste buds go, wait a minute. Whoa. It doesn't jive with what we like. But the concept looked cool. How many times I've seen people do the smoked old fashioned. Now, I've had 1 or 2 that have been great, but for the most part, the smoked old fashioned, a lot of people, the way they do it, by the time it looks cool, it smells good. It hits the taste buds, and I'm like, oh, taste buds go, wait a minute, it doesn't taste like an old fashioned.
So there's this bar, I haven't been back to it, and it's going to take me a second to find it. I had gone to visit a client, and I still had some time to kill after the meeting. So I had found this little restaurant / bar area, and I think it was like Washougal, Washington. And this was years ago. I don't even know if it's still there. I don't know if it still made it, so I have to look for it. But they had this smoked old fashioned. Yeah. And I was like, well, that's kind of cool. And the way that they did it, I was like, wow. And that one, I will say, was good. Yeah. I will have to say it was very yummy. It was like, wow. I just sat there and enjoyed it. I had a snack and then walked around the area because it was outdoorsy. It was kind of one of those fall days. So it was just beautiful to be out. Before it's like, okay, I can leave now, but it was good times. I will say that the prosciutto, because it's nicely, I threw it in the oven and it cooked for about a half hour. These are not super thin nor super thick asparagus. So depending on how thick your asparagus, if they're skinny, I usually put 2 to 3 asparagus per. Yeah. And then I threw it in the oven, did nothing else. That's it. And put it half an hour.
How long do you put them in the oven for, and how much crispiness goes away from the asparagus?
It was 350 for half an hour. And and I did turn it about halfway just to make sure that it got a nice crisp all around. It's got a beautiful, good crisp.
Okay, and do you add butter or salt, pepper to yours to cook?
Nothing.
Nothing, just the prosciutto. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen it done with a little couple dribbles of butter. It does. If you put the butter on, don't add the salt and pepper because it does make it too salty. But that little, just a few drips of butter, melt it because it melts into the asparagus.
Okay, I might have to try that next time. This time I just went simple. Just rolled it up, threw them in the oven on my bone pan thing, and it was beautiful. That goes very, very well with the martini. My steak bites with the and these mushrooms, I cut them in fours, so they're not so they're almost triangular. So what I did with this is that I melted butter, and then I chopped up not even that much onion, but a little bit of yellow onion, nicely chopped. Threw it in there, caramelized it. I added a little bit of steak seasoning, a little bit of pepper, and then I threw in the mushrooms and cooked those. Then I had cut up little pieces of the steak bites, threw those in there as I set the mushrooms aside. Oh, before I did all that, I added it was a Robert Mondavi Pinot Noir. So I added that to the mushrooms and the onions and let that deglaze the pan. And it just, once it was absorbing, then I set it aside. Then I cooked my my steak, and I added some of the steak seasoning on there, threw it on there, cooked it, and then mixed it. And literally the mixing was throwing the mushrooms at the bottom of the little bowl and then throwing the steak bites on top. Very basic, nothing major. And the biggest thing was that that wine that this tastes really good. And it goes very well with the martini. What I haven't had are the blueberries yet. So I'm going to see how that goes with the martini. But definitely steak bites, mushrooms, prosciutto, asparagus, all pair very nicely. We're going to go with the olives, the blueberries.
Well, it's interesting though, but how many times, all right, when you see, I wanted to do this because tonight, Gwen, this is what Gwen does. When she comes home from work, it's make a martini, go sit out in the patio for a little bit when the weather's nice here.
Yeah, and relax. And
yeah. What is your get home from work, unwind, have a drink, sit in the patio, drink?
Well, considering I've been getting home super late.
Yeah.
Over these last couple of weeks, what I've been drinking, chamomile tea. So I've been making chamomile tea, and I sit on the couch and I throw on my little blankie, and then I watch the news. And sometimes I don't even watch anything if it's that late.
Quit watching the news, girl.
Yeah, I put nothing.
There's more news on this broadcast than there is.
Yeah. So I won't even watch anything. I'll just sit and just have my chamomile tea. I might catch up on some emails or just watch a little bit of social media, some YouTube, something like that. But yeah, usually if it's late. But if it's a nice day and I get home early enough to where I can sit out on the patio, I usually want bourbon whiskey scotch. Mm-hmm. Big cube, and then just sit outside and just relax for a moment. And it's me time. And then I come back in and
done. We got done working out because we do Saturday, Sundays. We do work, our yard work.
Right.
We got done last night. Then we got stuck with, a couple of rain showers kind of delayed our work yesterday.
Okay.
We got done.
Down rain here.
Yeah, we got done. We just pulled some bourbons up. Now Gwen likes hers over iced, and I'll just drink mine neat. Mm-hmm. Sat there, poured over some bourbons. Now Gwen comes home from work tonight. I'm gonna take the shaker out and make up another one of these. I'll probably make her a Crater Lake martini tonight.
There you go.
Let her taste what we're show.
Sometimes if it's a winter, I really enjoy a hot toddy. If it's just that rainy, ugly, a little hot toddy, it just tastes so good. It's just so warming. Or I don't make them as much as I used to. I used to make a special hot cocoa. My mama would laugh whenever I say, I'm going to make a special hot cocoa.
Because I want to know what's in this. This is got to be great.
So I would make Mexican hot chocolate, melt it in a little bit of water. Then I'd add my milk to it, with cinnamon and a cinnamon stick, and sometimes a star anise, but for the most part, just cinnamon stick. If I was going very basic, I add the milk, I heat that up, and then I serve it onto a mug, but I add a shot of whiskey. So that's what make it a special hot cocoa. And then depending on what I have on hand, if I have um, marshmallows, I'll throw a few marshmallows in there, or sometimes whipped cream and sometimes nothing. If I don't have that, then it's okay. But it's my Mexican hot cocoa with a shot of whiskey is just.
I'm thinking that tealing we had on last week's broadcast would be great in that.
Yes. Yes.
The flavor palette made me think that would pair with that.
Yes, that's cinnamon.
Yes, I remember flavor palettes from week to week, people.
Yes, cinnamon with that Irish whiskey would go very well. Absolutely. And then with the chocolate, I think the flavors would all mesh just beautifully together. It is a very smooth whiskey. So
that was,
Dripping Springs it was good. It was a good martini. I cannot complain. I'm not going to be mad at that. But the Crater Lake Martini just has a smoother flavor to it. It's just yummy. And
here's the catch. I'll bet you, though, I come up to visit you. We go to the bar next door to your office. Are they serving Crater Lake at the bar?
Yep, because it's an Oregon-based, so most of the bars will have Crater Lake.
Most of the bars around me don't have Dripping Springs.
So
this is the difference between our states, all right?
Okay, that's interesting.
But our state has so many vodkas, so many bourbons going on. They only carry the popular ones. You know what I mean?
You know what? As does Oregon and Washington. So in Washington, there is this bar I came across. Their wings were so good. They have some food, but they are. I forgot the name of the place, but all their liquor, beer, wine, and alcohol that they serve is all Washington State liquor only. They will not carry Oregon stuff. They don't carry anything that is not made in Washington State. And I was like, that is so cool because they're paying, and they have a really good selection too, because again, Washington State. So they're paying homage to Washington State distilleries and breweries. So that was really cool. In most of the liquor stores in Oregon, you will have made in Oregon. So if you want something that's made in Oregon, you just go there and there it is, all the made in Oregon. They will also have it amongst everything else, but they will have a separate section for made in Oregon. And a lot of the bars will carry.
Liquor stores here have your Texas bourbons, your Texas vodka. I mean, they have a separate for it, yeah. But which, if you're in a liquor business,
yeah.
Go ahead. Okay.
Yeah. So the founders, the one of the bourbons, one of the first ones that we tried back in November of 2021, that we really liked. They're here in Oregon, and I went to one of my run for beer. It's a brewery, but they also have a little bar, so they do carry a few, and I mean very few. But they had the gin and the bourbon from that local here in Oregon. So even though they didn't have a lot, they had 2 bottles that were local that I noticed. I'm sure there was others in there, and of course their beer. But it is always so good to see that in Oregon where local is supporting local, and that's really cool.
Well, one of the things I wanted to do in my lifetime, and every now and then I think about it, but I never really pushed forward onto it, Gladys, is we know I love moonshine. We know I love barbecue. Was making a moonshine and barbecue place. Imagine it. I mean, most of the states that are doing great things, all right, and honoring their state, they're doing something unique to their state. All right. And like you said, you go into, the wine and beer places here, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
But when we honor, I mean, and I come to vacation in Washington, or I stop and visit in Washington. Yes, I love Texas stuff. I'm never going to stop loving Texas stuff. I'm a Texan by heart. Well, when I'm in Washington, I want to taste a Washington alcohol and a Washington food. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why when I was in Tennessee in late January, when I went into the liquor store, I'm like looking around. I'm like, well, where's the Tennessee whiskey?
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, it's down that aisle on the left. And I was like, I looked at them and I had been in that aisle.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
but this is not the Tennessee whiskey I can get everywhere else. I want the Tennessee whiskey I can only get here.
Right. And they're like, oh, well, that's over here. And it's like, okay, you know, but it was so funny that they had this huge section with Jack Daniels. And I'm like, that's not what I want. I can get that at home.
Yeah.
I didn't come all the way to Tennessee. Well, I didn't go to Tennessee just to get whiskey. I just happened to be there. But no, I did not want Jack Daniels. I can get that anywhere.
Yeah.
So I brought back a bottle of something else. And then I ended up with the vodka at the airport, which was kind of cool. I was going, ooh, vodka? I'll take that too. And they wrap it up beautifully in bubble wrap. And you're not allowed to, I mean, you can carry it to your flight, but you're not allowed to open it in the airport. So they're like, make sure and they tape it. I mean, they make this very secure. It makes it not that easy to just open and drink. I mean,
no, but I want, when I come to Oregon, I want to taste something that if I have to sneak it on the damn plane, that people are going, wait a minute, where are you taking our freaking shit, man? No, because
they want you to take our shit, and it's like, here, taste it, like it, come back.
I want to taste it, but I want to experience that when I'm there.
Yeah.
So we go to Napa a lot, and when we go to Napa, it's the experience of what we taste that makes us buy.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to Kroger and buy a wine because it says Napa on it.
Right.
I want something that I sat down at the vineyard. All right. Our favorite is this vineyard in Napa. All right. That we just love and adore and have since we got married. That it's just, they don't have the fancy pavilion for you to go hang out in. No, it's a bunch of picnic tables and an old barn.
Nice.
All right. And
that
is the greatest wine. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Don't spend all your money on the marketing. Spend your money on the booze.
Yeah,
I'll buy the booze from the experience.
Right. There's these two wineries that I went to when I was living in Southern California, and I had the wine club membership to both. And when I would go to Temecula, I of course would stop at both and take the friends and what have you. And one of them, the quality kind of started going down. Mm-hmm. They started building all these beautiful, because it was like a warehouse when the first time I went there, and the wine was good. And then they built these like cottages, and it became a resort and this big pavilion, and their quality was like, no. And so I ended up stopping that wine club membership. The other one, it hadn't made any changes. It was the same. I mean, it was nice. Their wine quality was always good. Even when I moved to Texas, I continued getting the wine shipped until it was like, okay, I need to not be shipping so much wine because I wasn't drinking it anyway. And so I stopped the wine membership, but I still love that winery. It has good wine. And the next time I go, I expect it to still be as good.
I know.
But yes, so this time, yes, Crater Lake, you win again.
Crater Lake, I think, is just a more refreshing vodka than the other ones we've tasted.
Yeah, it's can't complain.
Yeah. It's all right. I'm not mad that Texas vodka didn't win.
I was going to say we can't be mad at having a good experience with a good vodka, especially when we can it's when you can have a really good vodka martini. It just you get to taste it and enjoy it, and you sip on it, and it just.
So I was out of, and Sunday it arrived because I was getting it. So my moonshine, like Tim Smith moonshine, which he's on the TV show Moonshiners, and he has a moonshine called Climax Original that I like because it's a triple grain moonshine.
Okay.
And I used to get it from Total Wine and More. They don't carry it anymore. Oh. trying to find a distributor in the Texas area where I'm at was tough. So I went online and bought it.
Oh, so you got it. Oh, nice. You got it.
And it was shipped to my house on Sunday.
Okay.
And yes, it arrived on Sunday in Texas. So I was like, I almost had to skip church because I was like, oh, are they going to make me? Because in Texas, if you do a delivery with that says alcohol, you must have an adult sign for it.
Right. Okay.
It was dropped off at my door. I'm like, yay, let's go to church.
Nice.
Hey, that's an episode we can do. We went to our favorite moonshine bar in Fort Worth, and they had Dr. James Stanley, preacher, on TV.
Oh.
On Sunday morning. And I said, only in Texas can you go to a moonshine bar and have a TV preacher on the TV screens. It's on my Instagram channel. But anyway.
Love it.
But that made me think that's something we're going to have to do. When we do our moonshine episodes, we're going to have to do moonshine and barbecue.
Yeah, most definitely. And we also will have to do a gin martini versus a vodka martini. So
we're going to have to do a gin versus yeah. We are.
Martini versus martini 2. Take 2.
Part 2.
Part 2. There you go. But this
we can do a part 2 episode without telling everybody there was a part 1 episode. Where do we get that?
Yes, we can call this one part 2. Yes, inside joke.
Oh. No, we can because technically it is vodka part 2.
That is true.
But we're not telling you what vodka part 1 was. Vodka part 1 it was the same thing, but it was compared in a different drink. You must research our archives to find out what it was.
It'll be out there. Let us know. We might send you a little something to go, hey.
Yeah, if you can identify it, just let us know. So I'm just curious, all right, if you listened in, whether you listen on the live broadcast or listen on the recording today, martinis. I'm just curious, what is your favorite? I mean, and yes, we all go for Grey Goose when we're out on non-public, but in your local town, what is the vodka or gin you have with it? I'm curious. I want to know.
What do you like?
Yeah.
We want to know.
Tell us in the comments. We will both comment to it. So, yeah, we want to know.
Yeah, we want to know how you like to drink your drink. And we thank you for visiting us week after week, listening to our chatter and ideas and what we like. And hopefully you try some of these things. Share with us what you enjoy the most and what you would like to see and how you've created your own. You know, a lot of times when I'm doing something, I am modifying it from the original recipe because that's just what I do. Mm-hmm. Tell us, how have you modified something to make it your own that you really enjoy? Yeah, and now our businesses are our sponsors. I'm Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design, helping small businesses with their employee benefits. You can find me at insurancedesignpros.com for 101 employee benefits for all budgets. On the left-hand side, when you go onto the page, you can do a download of a white page on 101 employee benefits for all budgets for your business. And this is my co-host, Tim.
Hey guys, Simple Easy Marketing. That's Simple Easy Marketing. All right. We got a new company called Simple Easy Websites. We're getting a done for you idea to get you out there and going with your website up, going. We can do everything from basics to automation, create content for you, whatever you want. Give us a ring over there. Simple Easy Websites. Get yourself a free consultation and let's see if we can help you.
And you probably can.
Yeah.
If you're having issues with your marketing, guess what? Tim is the man.
Hey, if you're having issues with insurance, I'm sure you can help.
That's my jam.
So anyway, but other than that, we're going to be back here having another drink next Sunday, right? Or next Monday, right?
Yep. So. Another 2 Mondays before I am off into the middle of the ocean for 2.5 weeks. So,
but we have arranged to have a broadcast going no matter what.
Yep.
We love you that much that we will have a broadcast of us drinking and preparing a drink for you no matter what.
So listen in. There's going to be a couple of sneak peek pictures ahead of that so that you can go, oh, what is that about? And hopefully you will tune in live. If not, at least hopefully you listen to the download. But check out the pictures that will be posted on the Facebook page to get a sneak peek of our drinks and food.
Yep. So Facebook, make sure you go like us on Facebook, facebook.com/likethewayyoudrink. We're also on YouTube.
We need more subscribers.
Hold on. It messed up my YouTube. I have to hit this again. There we go. YouTube.com/likethewayyoudrink on YouTube. All right. Because both those places is where we share information and broadcast. All right. But you can reach us each on our individual channels because we do actually do things. All right. Find Gladys Boutwell on Facebook and find Tim Gillette on Facebook. We're both there. Are you on any other social channels?
LinkedIn is my other one. I am on Instagram, but hit and miss. I'm not like all the time, but then again, I'm not all the time on Facebook either. Yeah, if you like us, if you learned something, if you enjoyed, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Make sure you share, you comment, you like it, because it's going to help our channel continue to grow. And also do the same with Facebook, because we appreciate you. And we hope that we've brought you some good information and some ideas on what you can do as you go through this tasting journey of different things and different food.
With that being said, I'm popping one more piece of chocolate in my mouth and we're out of here.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.